How y'all doing, good people? I appreciate y'all tapping in. Today we're going to continue a discussion I had this morning through one of my edited YouTube videos. Put a video up this morning regarding the US government sending out billions and billions and billions of dollars in foreign aid, and why that was something that I wanted to make a video about. I discussed that in my morning video. Since that morning video, I've gotten a lot of you guys who dropped comments and expressed interest in that particular topic of the US government giving out billions and billions of dollars in foreign aid when there are a lot of Americans who are suffering financially. So I thought this afternoon I would continue that discussion and give you guys some more information that I've uncovered as it relates to this foreign aid that the US has been giving out since World War II. I did know this. And as I did my research, I was blown away by the staggering amount of money that the US has given out in foreign aid since World War II. It's big numbers, guys. So I just wanted to do a follow-up video, and I decided to do it in this format, the live stream format, so I can go. Obviously, I'll leave this up and it'll turn into a video at some point, but let's get this discussion started again. Let's pick up where I left off in my morning video. Now, for some of you guys who are just coming into the live stream and don't know exactly what I'm talking about, or you're just coming into the video and you have no clue what I'm talking about. Well, the United States government has been giving out billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in financial aid to countries. Now, recently, there are 3 countries that have been getting this foreign aid, financial aid, military aid, whatever you want to call it, right? They've been getting it. The first one I want to mention is Ukraine. Now, Ukraine and Russia are in a conflict, and they have been in a conflict for some years. I'm not here to debate why they're in that conflict. I'm not here to debate why the US is giving them foreign aid. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not picking sides in this. I don't pick sides. I don't get involved in political business, whether it be internationally or domestically. I don't. So I'm not here to debate whether the US is right or wrong. What I'm here to do is inform my viewers, who are taxpayers, that your taxpayer dollars are being given out to countries who are in conflicts. And in most cases, war conflicts. And when I did my video this morning, I got a lot of feedback that a lot of people didn't know that. They didn't know that our government was funding these countries. So I decided to do more of a deep dive, do a little bit more research, and then do a follow-up video this afternoon with more information. So let's lay the groundwork for this conversation I'm getting ready to have. It's not a right or wrong conversation, right? I'm a proud American, and I'm happy and privileged to live here in the United States. Doesn't mean I'm happy with every decision the United States government makes. But ultimately, whatever decision they make, especially with our taxpayer dollars, because that's how they're funding this foreign aid, it's taxpayer dollars, right? Whether you know what side I'm on doesn't matter, but what does matter is we elect these politicians, in most cases, who vote for and approve these foreign aid packages. Like I started with Ukraine. Ukraine has gotten from the U.S., based on my research, and again, guys, I advise you to go out and do your own research. Don't take my word for it. This is just my research, my opinion. But based on my research, Ukraine has gotten around $100 billion in foreign aid, whether that be humanitarian aid, whether that be military aid, or other types of aid. Altogether, they've gotten about $100 billion from the United States government, really from the American people, because we're the taxpayers, right? That's where the money comes from, us. And they are in line to get another $25 billion. So total, $125 billion just to Ukraine. If we look at Israel, since 1946, World War II, to the current day, they've gotten about $250 billion in foreign aid. Again, humanitarian aid, military aid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Totaling about $250 billion. And then the third country is Taiwan. Now, they recently just had a foreign aid package approved in 2023, which covers them to 2027. Well, they'll be getting up to $2 billion per year in military aid. Now, all three of these countries are in conflicts with other countries. I believe, it doesn't even matter. I'm not going to even mention that. I'm not going to mention what countries they're in conflict with. You can go out and do your own research and figure that out. Because again, this is not about the conflict that they're in, if it's right or wrong, and which side. That's their business. My business is I'm an American citizen and I pay taxes. So I have a right to give my opinion on the United States government giving out, you might as well say, 250 to Israel, 100 to Ukraine. That's 350 billion right there. Now remember, like I said earlier, Ukraine is slated to get another 20 to 25 billion. Israel is slated, matter of fact, I read something where Israel, the Biden administration, again, I'm not saying Biden is good or bad, I'm just telling you what I read. The Biden administration is putting together $100 billion foreign aid package for Israel on top of the $250 billion they've already received since 1946. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot. So how do we pay for all of this? That's one of my biggest questions. How do we pay for all this? Now, I've already mentioned the money that's going to these countries are coming from U.S. taxpayers, people who live here in the United States and pay taxes. That's tax money. Now, let's think about our government, right? How is the government funded? It's funded through tax dollars, right? For the most part, tax dollars. Now, when I did my research, the United States this year is estimated to collect about $4 trillion in taxes from the American people, companies, etc. In 2022, they collected about $5 trillion. So they have $1 trillion less in 2023. But here's the kicker. It costs about $6 trillion to fund and run the government in the country. So we're collecting 4 trillion. It costs us 6 trillion to operate. We got a $2 trillion deficit. But yet and still, we're giving out hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries in the form of foreign aid, like I said, humanitarian aid, military aid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're giving out this type of money to countries when we are operating our own country in the negative. That's shocking to me. Take it one step further. We have not even approved a permanent government funding bill or package. Remember, the government was about to shut down 2-3 weeks ago. They had an emergency funding, a temporary government funding bill passed, but it expires November 17th. So let me get this straight. We're giving out billions and billions of dollars to other countries to aid them in their conflicts. But yet and still, we don't have enough money, revenue coming in to cover our expenses. We got 4 trillion in revenue coming in, and we got 6 trillion in expenses. $2 trillion deficit there, guys. Our GDP for 2023 is expected to be around 26 trillion. But our debt that we have is 33 trillion. Right? So our economy is 26 trillion, but our debt is 33 trillion. Our revenue for 2023 is estimated to be about 4 trillion, but our expenses are estimated to be 6 trillion. So where are we getting the money from? Now, I know some people will say, well, yeah, Federal Reserve will just print money. Well, Federal Reserve is not technically part of the government. So let's just say the Federal Reserve decides, okay, we're going to turn on the money printer and we're going to print money. We're going to print enough, as much as we need in order to satisfy everything. Problem with that is when you supply that type of money to our already overinflated economy, guess what inflation is going to do? It's going to go up even higher. That's what's going to happen, guys. Inflation is going to go up higher. So I don't see that as the answer, that the Federal Reserve just turns on the money printer. We're going to just create another mess for ourselves because inflation is going to go through the roof. You think 9% was something? It's going to be worse than that. So I don't think that's the answer, right? So I'm looking at the news and I see the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Treasury Secretary, whatever they call her. Her name is Janet Yellen. So she was on there saying, I believe we do have the money. We do have the money to be able to send foreign aid to these countries. And I'm saying to myself, well, I hear you saying that, Miss Yellen, but where are we getting the money from? Please, somebody tell me, what am I missing? If we're collecting $4 trillion in revenue, but we're spending $6 trillion, where do we get the money from? We got a GDP of 26 trillion, but we have a debt of 33 trillion. The numbers don't add up. So that's where the concern for me is how are we going to fund all this? Where are we going to get it from? Now, that concern is minor to the major concern that I have, which is the American people, right? In America, we have some serious financial problems when it comes to the American people. We got credit card debt that is in excess of $1.2 trillion. We got student loan debt that's in excess of $1.6 trillion, right? Just those two things right there. That's $2.8 trillion in credit card debt and student loan debt that, guess what? 2/3 of Americans can't pay. It's already been, revealed by the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco that Americans ran out of money, their personal savings, in October 2023. Most Americans, 90% of Americans, ran out of their personal savings. Done. We went from $2.1 trillion 2 years ago in personal savings all the way down to about 200 billion. So no personal savings, high inflation, high interest rates, credit card debt through the roof, student loan debt through the roof. I don't get it. It seems to me we got a lot of financial problems right here in the United States that we should be focused on. I don't know. Maybe we are focused on it. Maybe I just don't see it. I don't know. But it seems as though these folks that we've elected in Congress, White House, whoever else we elected that is at the table when these decisions are being made about sending out foreign aid to these countries. And again, I'm not saying that's the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm just trying to get you guys to think of what's happening with your U.S. taxpayer dollars, because you're the one that's funding it. American taxpayers are funding all of this, guys. So you should know where your money's going. That's the purpose and the reason I'm doing this video, is so that you understand where your tax dollars are going, or at least a portion of them, right? U.S. government is collecting $4 trillion in taxes. Nice little piece of that is going out to other countries in the form of foreign aid. And most of these countries that it's going to, they are in war conflicts. They are. Go out and do the research online. Just go see who Taiwan is in a war conflict with, or potentially escalating to that. See who Israel is out here in a escalating conflict that could be all-out war. And then obviously, Ukraine is already in an all-out war with Russia. So, and again, I'm not saying America is not justified for doing whatever they're doing and why I'm sure they got their reasons for it. Not, above my pay grade. So, it's just above my pay grade. So I'm not getting into those weeds. All I'm saying is, American people, pay attention. You're funding all of this. And a lot of my, no, I didn't approve that. No, you didn't have to. Your elected officials you elected approved it. So whoever you voted for, all your people in Congress, House of Representatives, the Senate, right? The White House, all these folks, and whoever else they bring to the table to make these decisions, they're making them. But in most part, you elected most of these people that are approving these packages. You don't even have a Speaker of the House right now. They fired the last guy. They just kicked him on out. And now they can't get anybody voted in. They already brought in the second guy, or gal, or whoever it is. I don't know who it was, but they didn't get confirmed. Brought in a third candidate. That joker can't get confirmed. So you don't even have a fully functioning Congress right now. So I don't know how you're supposed to pass a government funding bill when you don't even have a full Congress. The House of Representatives don't even have a Speaker of the House. They can't pass anything. So I don't know, guys. I mean, it's just, to me, I don't know. We just got things kind of backwards a little bit. You got, like I mentioned in my video this morning, you got a homeless population here in the United States that's increasing, guys. I mean, it's increasing. It's getting larger. But yet and still, we got billions and billions and billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars we can send to other countries, right? We got billions of dollars we can send to other countries. And again, if we got everything buttoned up here in the United States, and we got our population of people is doing well, everybody's financially doing well, I get it. If we say, you know, it's in our best interest to help these countries because they're our allies and blah, 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 blah. Gotcha. And I know all of that plays into it, but I'm still struggling with the homeless population here in the United States. It's growing. I'm still struggling with families out there that can't afford the basic medical insurance they need. They can't afford anything. I'm looking at people who fall under the poverty line. It's increasing. This is the thing that I don't, you know, and I get it. Like I always tell you guys, this whole system is set up for who? The 1%. The upper 20% of wealthiest people in this country. That's who this system is set up for. Everybody else, you better hold on. You better hold on for dear life, because I don't care anything about you. That's evident, right? So here's the thing, man. If you want something to change with what's going on, you got to start thinking about these people who you elect to these political offices. Now, some people might say, Richard, that doesn't matter. All of them are scoundrels. All of them are in the pocket of big corporate and the wealthy. That may be true. I can't fight you on that one. I can't fight you on that one. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Whoever you put in there, they all in the pocket of big corporate and the wealthy. I get it. It doesn't matter who you put in there, honestly. That's why people ask me, who do you carry? You guys put whoever you want to put in the White House. They all in the pocket of big corporate and the wealthy. And you know why they're in the pocket of big corporate and the wealthy? Because that's who put them there. You and I didn't put them there. See, that's the illusion. Y'all think, don't get me wrong. I vote and I ask everybody to vote. But honestly, big corporate and the wealthy typically control the political process in our country. That's my opinion. That doesn't mean I don't vote. That doesn't mean I don't do my part. I do. But I also understand who actually puts these people in there. That's the illusion that the American people do. But really, it's corporations and it's the wealthy, right? That's why everything in our financial system is skewed towards the wealthy and the rich, right? But nevertheless, as Americans, you should be aware where your dollars are going, and your taxpayer dollars are going in the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries, right? And most of these countries are in conflicts. They're in escalating conflicts that could lead to, or if not already in war. Now again, the argument is going to be they're our allies. This is definitely something we want to help and support because they're our allies. We need these folks. We need these countries. I'm going to argue that. I just think it's odd that we would spend that type of money when in our own country, we got all of this financial going on. I don't know. You guys got to help me with that. Drop me some comments down in the comment box. Once this thing goes to a video format, drop me some comments and let me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about Ukraine already getting $100 billion? And when the government is able to approve something, when you get your full Congress together, They're trying to get another 25 bill. They're trying to. And like I said, with Israel, and again, I'm not for or against or any of that stuff. Hey, I have nothing against Israel. I have nothing against Ukraine. I have nothing against Taiwan. Nothing at all. I'm just looking at it as an American who pays taxes, who was not aware my tax dollars were going there. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't aware of it, guys, until I started doing the research. So I figured, hey, I'm going to make you guys aware of it. Because I'm sure if I didn't know, many of you don't know. But now you know. What do we do about it? Personally, I think awareness is the key, right? It's not like I'm not going to pay my taxes. It's not like I can say, well, I ain't paying my taxes because I don't want this money going. No, I'm going to pay my taxes, but I'm aware of it. And if I have an opportunity where I can vote for someone who I believe will number one priority is take care of the American citizens first, then I'll vote for that person. Will they do it? I don't know, but I want to be a part of the process. I also just want to be aware of where my dollars are going that I work hard for, and I willingly pay taxes into our government so that we can run this great country. But I also was shocked to know hundreds of billions of dollars are going out to other places where we have a bunch of problems here in the United States with our citizens not doing well financially, right? So yeah, Ukraine over 100 bill, Israel since 1946 has received over 250 billion dollars in foreign aid. And from what I read, now all along they continue to get, every year they were getting money anyways. Even I think in 2022, I think Israel received like 4.8 bill. But now there's a package that, from what I read now, and I can't confirm this is fact, I'm just telling you what I read, that the Biden administration is putting together a $100 billion package for them. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just telling you what I read. What I do know is true is they've got the 250 billion since 1946. That part is, that's I believe that to be fact. Whether they're getting this additional 100 bill or not, that's not fact. That's just me reading something online and relaying it to you guys. It's just information. I'm not telling you to take that for fact. And then of course Taiwan, that is fact. They got a foreign aid package. Their foreign aid package is from 2023 to 2027, and they can get up to $2 billion a year in military aid. So clearly they probably having some problems out there that's escalating with China. I don't know, but I would that's the likely culprit. They're probably got some stuff because since World War II, Taiwan and China ain't been right. They ain't been on the same page. And obviously, you know, China is a country that's trying to dominate, guys. I can tell you right now, if China could take us out, I think they would. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's my opinion. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just telling you, if they could, I think they would. But see, with us we got the most powerful military. Plus, we have the #1 financial system. Now, those two go hand in hand, because I don't think we have the #1 financial system unless we have the #1 military, right? If some other country has the #1 military, they're just going to come step on us. And then our little financial system is, we either get in line or get stumped on. But as long as we got the #1 military, I think we'll always have the #1 financial system, right? I think that's the way it goes. You look at most great civilizations. What really caused their debacle in most great civilizations is internal, right? Internal fighting, right? You look at the Romans, you look at the Egyptians. It's just internal, right? No one can trust nobody internally. And then that internal turmoil starts to go outside where people can see it. And then when people can see internal turmoil, they get courage. They band together, and then they boot, and they just keep attacking you till they wear you down, right? So hopefully we don't put ourselves in that type of position. I hope not. I don't think we're anywhere near that. I'm just telling you from my opinion, when I look at history, some of your great civilizations, it was that internal turmoil, right? And we see a lot of that here in the US where we're just fighting all the time. Political parties are fighting all the time. Barely can get anything done. So hopefully we will get this corrected. Number one, we'll get the government funding bill done once we get a Speaker of the House in place. We can get that done. And then hopefully, even if we do give out this money to these other countries, hopefully we take some of the money and we put more emphasis on the homeless. We put more emphasis on Americans who don't have the basic medical insurance to be able to take care of themselves and their families in the event they get sick or get hurt. Hopefully we do that. Hopefully we continue to give a decent cost of living increase to the elderly and the people who are getting Social Security. I think I read somewhere they got like a 3.2%. Guys, inflation is higher than that. I mean, you get a 3.2% cost of living increase, but inflation is 4.1, something like that, core inflation. I can't remember right off the top of my head. 4.1, 4.3 core inflation. That's my problem. You know, you give the the people in this country who are getting Social Security now, 62 and up, right? And even folks that are getting disability, these are the people who I pay my tax dollars to help support, right? I pay my tax dollars to help support these people, not just give them a cost of living increase that's not even keeping up with inflation. I mean, we should give them more than that. We should never give them a cost of living increase that's not above what inflation is. I don't care if inflation is 9%. Give them higher, give them 9.1%. But they shouldn't get 3.2% when inflation is over 4%. Core inflation is over 4%. Hell, headline inflation is higher than 3.2%. So in my opinion, these are the things that I'm a little disappointed in our government that we're not doing more of. I mean, I pay my tax dollars so we don't have this huge homeless population. But we do. Now, and I know in some instances, people choose to live that way, and that's okay. But I can't believe that many people that are homeless just choose that. I know some do, but not the majority of them. The majority of them are just thrown into financial situations where they have no other choice. So I just think we got some financial issues here in the United States that should take precedent. But again, I'm not a foreign policy expert. I'm not any shape, form, or fashion know what's going on behind closed doors with our government and why they support these countries and other countries they don't. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information, and none of you are either. But I would think that in some of those meetings, someone should be saying something about, hey, what about this here in the United States? What about these issues? What about the credit card debt issue? What about the student loan debt issue? You know, what about the homeless issue? What about the lack of medical insurance issue? What about inflation? I don't know. And maybe people are in our government talking about that. Again, I'm not privy to those meetings. I just was really, it was an eye-opener when I started peeling back the onion and looking at all this information online about what we're doing with our tax dollars. I just thought that was, wow, that was pretty tremendous. And again, guys, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm sure there's a valid reason that is above my pay grade while we do what we do from a foreign policy standpoint. I don't know. I just know it would be my hope at some point we address our own financial issues in this country with our own people, right? I understand we're wanting to help Ukraine rebuild their country. I get that. But we also have a country right here that's the infrastructure of our own country is crumbling. Bridges, roads, seawalls, all kind of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I get we're trying to help someone else rebuild, but we got to also focus on rebuilding the infrastructure of our own country, right? We do need to do that. And again, I got nothing against helping the people of Ukraine. I got nothing against helping the people that live in Israel or the country of Israel. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with Taiwan. All I'm trying to get you guys to understand is where our tax dollars are going, and get you to think, and get you to understand the people who are making these decisions are people we put in these offices, these elected officials. They're taking our tax dollars and they're just doing whatever they want to do with them. Just think about that when it's time for you to vote. We got a presidential election coming up in less than a year, about a year. That should be one of the things you're looking for in your candidate. Maybe that's a question if you're at one of these town hall meetings or somewhere where you can get access to some of these people. Maybe that's a question you ask. Will they answer it? I'm sure they'll try. But think about the people you're electing and putting in these seats, because they're the ones that actually are approving this stuff and sending out this money. And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm sure there are good reasons for why they're doing it, which I don't know what those reasons are. Just like I didn't know my tax dollars were being spent and sent out. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. So just be aware of what's going on, man. You know, be aware of what's happening. That's really the key. You really got to understand what's happening in our country, right? You got to understand what's happening in order to be able to understand the bigger plan. Also, you need to know this stuff so when you are looking to invest to build wealth, right? You need to know what's the political landscape, the financial landscape. You need to know what's going on. I'm not saying you need to be an expert in any of this stuff, but you do need to have an idea of what's going on, right? Because a lot of times what will happen is in some of these countries that are having conflicts, oil is a big thing in a lot of these countries. A lot of these regions control a large supply of the oil in the world. And if these people are in conflict over there, you know, you may see oil prices go up. Therefore, you're going to see gas prices go back up. Therefore, you're going to see inflation go up. I'm just telling you. So, you know, knowing kind of what's going on, you get an idea when stuff happens with inflation or prices go up, you get an idea why, because of this conflict. And obviously, if the United States is right in the middle of it, I'm not saying we're over there physically fighting the battle, but we're certainly giving them money to get military, you know, equipment and things like that. So we got a vested interest in it. So just know that, right? Just know that. But again, knowing is half the battle, right? Not much I can do about it other than try to figure out when the election cycles run through. Just try to figure out, am I voting for the right candidate that puts America first, its citizens first, getting our financial landscape correct first. And then if we want to go save the world, have at it. But don't save the world and your own world is crumbling. That's all I'm saying. Don't be out here saving the rest of the world, but your own world right here at home is crumbling. Just saying. Like I said, you guys drop some comments down in the comment box and let me know what you think. But I'm shocked that we're giving out that much money. I didn't know. I had no idea. Honestly, I had no idea until I started doing a little research on it, and there it was, plain as day. And I'm thinking, what the heck? Wow. Wow. And all I'm saying is these countries that we're supporting, the people that they're fighting against, they must not like the U.S. You're talking about a couple heavyweights. Russia, China, them some heavyweights. I'm talking about heavyweights, man. And you already got China and Russia trying to circumvent the dollar anyways, right? They already trying to get their little coalition together to circumvent the dollar and just kick the dollar to the curb as the world's currency. That's what Russia and China are trying to do, right? They're trying to dethrone the dollar as the world's reserve currency. Just telling you, man. And so happened, two of these countries we're supporting are in conflicts with them. Just saying, just something for you to think about. Just something for you to know and have on the radar, right? So if you see something happen, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. That's why that's happening. That's why China is acting the fool, right? That's why Russia acting the fool. Now you know, right? And again, I'm not some political guy here. I'm just telling you, put two and two together. So what does that mean? What does that mean for building wealth? What does that mean? Nothing. For me, nothing. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. They want to give out billions and billions of dollars to these countries. Go right ahead. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep earning. I'm gonna keep paying my taxes just like any good American would do. And I'm gonna hopefully just trust in the process. Just hope and trust that our government knows what they're doing. That's really all we can do. I can't stop my wealth building effort. Oh, I'm not going to put my money in anything else. I'm just going to take it out since we got all this conflict out here in the world, and I'm just going to sit it in my piggy bank. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue buying my favorite companies. I'm going to continue buying my favorite ETFs. Just like I do right now, I'm going to continue doing that. I'm not going to worry about that. It's on the radar. I'm paying attention, but I cannot get distracted and veered off of my wealth building pathway. I can't. And I advise you guys, because I got that earlier today when I dropped the first video, the short video. I got the same thing. Oh, I'm going to stop investing. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. I didn't know they were doing all of that. No, I didn't tell you this for you to stop investing in building wealth. I'm telling you so that at least you got some knowledge, some information that you can go out and do your own little research and be aware of what's going on. I wasn't aware of it. And I think I'm a pretty financially savvy guy. But since I don't really get into this political thing, I don't really pay any attention to when these political people are out here doing what they do. I just don't pay no attention to them, right? Because most of it is just propaganda. So I don't pay any attention to them, but then all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh shoot, those are my taxpayer dollars. Let me pay attention to this. So that's when I started kind of getting myself up to speed, and that's when I shared the first video this morning, and I felt like this afternoon I needed to do a longer version because I got so much feedback from you guys that I said, let me do a little bit of more digging and see if I can give my audience some more information to get them to thinking. Guys, if you're coming in the live, hit the thumbs up for me. Do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up. I did a lot of research to try to come up with some of this content, to come up with some of these numbers. So if you appreciate that, hit that thumbs up for me. Or if you just appreciate someone that's trying to look out for you, because that's all I'm trying to do, right? I didn't have to do this. I could have just kept it all to myself. But I decided, no, I'm going to go out here and share it with my audience or whoever wants to listen. Everybody ain't going to agree. Everybody ain't going to listen. Everybody just going to, you do whatever you feel like you want to do with the information. But at least I'm here as a person who has your best interest at heart. And you guys know that, especially my OGs that rock with me, especially my subscribers that rock with me every day. Y'all know I got your best interest at heart. I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'll tell you automatically, I'm no expert in none of this stuff. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who says, okay, let me see what's going on. And now that I have a good idea of what's going on, not that it's a perfect idea, not that it's completely right, but now that I got a little bit of information, my job is to share it. That's all I do, guys. My job is to share it with my audience, because a lot of them who follow me depend on me giving it to them straight. And I give it to you straight. Y'all know that. I don't sugarcoat it. Y'all know I don't get into too much back and forth. I don't get into the political stuff. I don't do that. All I'm giving you is, here's where your tax dollars are going. Did you know that? Now you know. That doesn't mean you stop paying your taxes. That doesn't mean you stop investing because you think the world's going to come to an end. I saw a couple comments where guys are talking about World War III and all this other stuff. Listen, guys, let me give you a bit of advice. Control what you can control. I can't control if there's a World War III or not. I'm not going to spend any time worried about that. All I'm going to worry about is controlling what I can control. And for me, that's my daily life, my interactions with people, what I do with my finances. That's what I can control. I cannot control what the United States of America does. Doesn't mean I don't want to know what they're doing, but I can't control it. And nor am I going to try to control it. Nor am I going to get in an argument with someone who wants to always throw up the Biden administration is running the country. I'm not going to argue with people like that. I'm not going to put all of this on one person or one party. It's America. It's our full financial system. It's the way we're stitched together. This is who America is. You got to take the good with the bad. I'm okay with that. I am privileged to live here in the United States. I'm a proud American, but that doesn't mean I like everything that America does, because I don't. But it doesn't mean I'm not a proud American, and I willingly pay my taxes. I don't want to pay more than my fair share, but I'm going to pay my fair share because that's my obligation to live in this great country. But it's also my obligation as an American that does pay his taxes is to know where my tax dollars are going and hold people accountable for where they go. It's our responsibility to hold these people accountable. That's why I keep telling you. Yeah, we can't storm the Capitol like people did several years ago. I mean, come on, you can't do that. Nobody's going to try to storm the Capitol again. I hope not. No, what you do is, now that you know what's going on or have an idea of it in this election cycle that's coming up, it's on you. It's on you. You can choose who you put in these seats. Now, if you want to bury your head in the sand and just act like you don't see what's going on, then bury your head in the sand. But at least you know you've been told. I've already told you. Take it for whatever it's worth. But back to this thing about not investing. Don't allow this information to get you off your wealth building plan. Because the goal is to get to financial freedom so you can control 100% of your time and control your financial destiny. That's the goal. So please, guys, don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that goal. I know we got a lot going on in the country, especially with all this stuff happening with these conflicts that we're involved in. But don't let that sidetrack you. Control what you can control. It's just you. The only thing you can control is you. Can't control your neighbor. Can't control some guy down the street. Can't control the people you work with. No. Can't control knuckleheads in the comment section of videos. Can't control them. Just can't. So why try? I don't. All I worry about and try to control is me and how I navigate through this world. That's all I can control. I can't control another human being. Just control you. Just keep you focused on your goals. Know what's going on around you. Have good intel. Know what's going on around you, but control what you can control. Don't stop building wealth. Keep earning. Keep what you earn and multiply what you earn. I recommend for a lot of you guys who haven't seen the video, I think it was a live stream I did a couple days ago where I'm talking about the Magnificent Seven, that I'm getting ready to build a new investment portfolio, and I'm gonna have the Magnificent Seven in it. And I'm gonna use the Webull app in order to build that portfolio. It's gonna be 7 stocks, right? And those 7 stocks are, in my opinion, well, not just my opinion, it's a fact. They're the largest 7 stocks in the S&P 500. Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Meta. Those are the 7, and they call them the Magnificent 7. Top 7 companies in the S&P 500. They represent about 28% of the S&P 500, those 7 companies. So I'm starting to put together a portfolio on the Webull app where I'm going to be buying these 7 companies, $1,000 a week, every week, throughout 2023 and throughout 2024. And I'm asking you guys to join me. Now, I'm not trying to give you financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and inviting you guys, if you want to mirror along, join in. Now, obviously, you got to have the Webull app. So for you guys that already got it, that rock with me, kudos. All you got to do is look for the weekly updates in my videos where I'm going to be showing you exactly when I put my 1,000 in every single week. I'll be doing updates through my videos showing you that, right? For those of you that want to join in that don't have the Webull app, there's a link in the description box of this video. Go click on that Webull link, open up that Webull account. They're going to give you up to 12 free stocks for just trying out the brokerage app. Up to 12 free stocks. And then you can send me a DM on Instagram at RichardFain28 and let me know you've opened the Webull account. You funded the Webull brokerage account. And I'm going to send you a Webull tutorial video that will walk you through how to use the Webull app to buy individual stocks and ETFs. So send me that DM. Send it to me on my Instagram account, which is at RichardFain28. Again, that Webull link is down in the description box of this video. Click on that Webull link, join the team, and let's go ahead and build some wealth together. I'm going to use the Magnificent 7. You can use whatever you want to use. You don't have to use the Magnificent 7, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use those guys. And I know some of you might say, well, hey, man, I thought you didn't do individual stocks. Well, you got to understand 80% of the money that I invest in paper assets are invested in ETFs and index funds. When I do buy individual stocks, it's about 20%. Now, the Magnificent 7 does not represent 20% of my money that I'm putting in. It's more like 3%, right? Less than 3% of the money that I have to invest in the stock market, I'm taking that 3%, which is going to equal about $62,000 over the next 14 to 15 months. And I'm going to put it in the Magnificent 7. The goal is to turn it one time in that 14 to 15 months. And a lot of you might say, well, I don't think you can do that. Well, if you look at the Magnificent 7, collectively, year-to-date rate of return for those 7 companies, there's 7 stocks, is around 92%. When you take those 7 out of the S&P and just collectively put them together and look at their ROI, it's about 92%. So I think there's a good chance I can make that happen in 15 months. So go from a $62,000 investment to $125,000, about a $62,000, $63,000 gain. We'll see. I'm going to give it a shot. I like the Magnificent 7. I like all 7 of those companies. They got one thing in common that I really like. They're all tech companies, right? They're all either giants or on their way to being giants. And really the one I really like the most is NVIDIA. If you look at NVIDIA's year-to-date ROI, it's around 220%. That's NVIDIA. So I'm loving it. I'm loving all 7 of those individual stocks. Again, represents about 3% of the money I got to put in the market. The other 97% is going to be in ETFs and index funds, which is how I hang my hat, right? Because I don't want to be the expert. When I'm trying to pick individual stocks, I am trying to be the expert. So on that 3% of the money that I'm trying to put in, I'm trying to be the expert because I'm picking these companies myself. right? But on 97% of the money that I invest, I'm not the expert. I lean on companies like Vanguard who offer ETFs and index funds that track the S&P 500 and track the total stock market and track sectors. That's where 97% of the money I invest because I don't want to be the expert. See, when I try to be the expert, more times than not, I'm not going to outperform an S&P 500 ETF from Vanguard. I'm not going to outperform them. Now, the Magnificent Seven, I believe, can outperform it, but that's just my belief. I'm not going to hang my head on that. That's why I'm only putting 3% in, right? I'm no dummy now. And I'm going to keep 97% where I know is proven track record, right? So that's what I'm doing with the Magnificent Seven. And I'm using the Webull app to do that. So if you're interested, like I said, click on that Webull link down in the description box. Open up that Webull account today. Get yourself up to 12 free stocks when you put any amount of money in. But if you're going to follow along and create your own Magnificent Seven, obviously you need to put some money in that Webull account, right? And like I said, if you don't know how to use the Webull app, send me a DM on Instagram at RichardFain28, and then I'm going to send you a free Webull tutorial video that just gives you the basics, right? It's not a full-blown 2-hour video where it's going to show you every nook and cranny of the app. That's not what it is. It's just a basic 10-minute, here's how you trade. Here's how you buy an ETF. Here's how you sell an ETF. Here's how you buy a stock. Here's how it's right there. It's just basic stuff. You may have to watch it 2 or 3 times, but it is enough for you to know how to do that. And again, I'm not an expert at the Webull app. I don't know everything, every capability of the Webull app. Why? Because I don't need all that. All I need to know how to do is, how do I buy Apple? How do I buy VOO? How do I buy VTI? How do I buy Tesla? I don't need to know all the rest of that stuff on the app. Don't get me wrong. If you want to, they have tutorials that can walk you through how to learn everything about it, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to do one thing really, really well. I don't need to try to do 10 things half well. I want to have one thing I do real well and make a bunch of money at it. So if you guys want to join me, like I said, get on that Webull link down in the description and let's rock and roll. Well, all right, guys, I'm going to get ready to sign on out of here. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, stopping by. And this whole thing with the United States giving out these hundreds of billions of dollars to these countries that are in conflicts, the only reason it came on my radar because they're paying for it with taxpayers' money. That's how it got on my radar. I'm a taxpayer, so yeah, I paid attention. And I hope as a taxpayer, you pay attention. And again, the only way we get American people and the financial issues we have in this country up to the top of the priority list is you got to put the right people in office when time comes. That's all you can do. And again, even if we try to put the right people in office, I still believe, big corporations and the ultra wealthy control that process ultimately, in my opinion. But I'm still going to be a part of the process because that's my right as an American citizen. I'm going to be a part of the process even though I know it's flawed. I'm still going to be a part of it. I'm still going to pay my taxes. I just now know where some of my tax dollars are going. And I'm not against that. I just would prefer we take care of the American citizens first before we go out and help other citizens of other countries. I'm not saying we don't help them. I just want us to make sure we have helped our people in our country first, and then we can go out and save the world. Okay with me. I ain't got no problem with that. Well, guys, hit that thumbs up before you tap out of here. I'm getting ready to tap out myself, but please hit the thumbs up for me before you tap out. It's really important that you hit that thumbs up. That's the way the YouTube algorithm gets this content out to more people, is through that like button. So please hit that like button before you tap out. Thank you guys for stopping in and joining. Also share the video if you would kindly do that. I always ask people to share it with 5 people if they can. It would be a big help to me and to the channel. And more importantly, it would be a big help to the rest of the people out there that are looking for financial freedom. Maybe they get a nugget or 2 from this video, and they will owe that all to you because you shared the link with them. So please take 5 people, send this out to them. or more than 5 if you're willing. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next live or the next video. Peace out.